Hi, I'm Madison Miller, and this is my presentation on interpersonal communication. Number 1, the introduction. In this presentation, I'll be talking about what I've learned about myself when it comes to communication, some goals for myself, and things that I still need to work on. Number 2, the overarching goal. My main goal is that I want to be able to listen fully without interrupting or jumping to conclusions. Listening to others will help me avoid unnecessary arguments and keep healthy, lasting relationships. I want to be able to communicate in a way that glorifies God in every situation, whether that be at work, home, or at church. As the Bible says, our tongues are either life or death. I want my mouth to speak life and bring myself and others closer to God. Number 3, the behavioral blend and background. These are the results from my DISC test. Dominance was 31%, influence 15%, steadiness 39%, which was my highest, and compliance 15%. This is what the site gave me as kind of a summary of how I am based on the test. It says you are a clear thinker. You have an inner need to be objective and analytical. You like to pursue a definite course of action. You respond to logic rather than emotion. You are likely to be particularly good at handling challenging technical assignments. You have a strong inner motivation to attain personal goals. You like to become the expert in your chosen field. And overall, I'd say this is pretty accurate for just taking a test once. It's fascinating to me how they can find out so much about you just through one test. For my background, as for cultural background, I've grown up in America and haven't had a ton of interactions with other cultures. One negative thing that I've noticed is that my family and I didn't have a lot of deep conversations, mainly surface level. We didn't really talk of issues or things going on. That has caused some issues and surprises in my dating relationship. I never realized my family was like that until my now husband pointed it out. I have had to learn how to open up and talk about deep things, even though it makes me vulnerable. I'm thankful that he was able to point that out and open my eyes to things that I never would have realized. I think I do a lot better now with opening up to people, even though it can still be hard. Some positive things I was taught were manners, respect for others, and honesty/truthfulness. They also had a big focus on making eye contact, smiling, shaking hands, etc., which all have to do with communication. Number 4, my communication barriers that I have learned throughout this class. First, we talked about fight versus flight. I have realized that I am more flight than fight when it comes to conversations. This isn't helpful or healthy and causes more issues. I need to face disagreements that come and resolve them with whoever I'm speaking to. Avoiding these conversations doesn't help anyone and drags on the arguments longer than necessary. If I faced them, it'd be over so much quicker and wouldn't bring me the additional stress that avoiding does. Having to do with my appearance or body language, I need to work on keeping a smile on my face so that I don't come across so intimidating. This will stop my effectiveness in making new friends and relationships. I've had several people say that I'm intimidating or look angry when I honestly don't even feel it, but my face is very expressive. One time, I was walking down to the cafeteria and a friend stopped me and asked if I was mad at them. And this person I didn't even really talk to that much. And I was confused and was like, no, I'm not. And it was my face that was conveying that, which we don't realize how much that actually affects things, but it does. When it comes to gentleness, I am a very honest and truthful person. I need to remind myself to be gentle and practice the sandwich method in these conversations. I can tend to focus on honesty over than remembering that this person has feelings and that the truth sometimes hurts. I could be better about giving them compliments and encouraging on what they are doing well, and just reminding them that what I am saying is out of love and for their betterment. And listening is next. When listening, I need to avoid defense and really focus on what the person is saying. Where are they coming from? How do they feel? What truth are they speaking? This isn't a time to zone out or prepare what I have to say. I need to put away any distractions and remind myself that this conversation is important to listen to. Most of the time, I have realized that the thing they brought up usually always has some bit of truth to it that I may not want to admit at the time, which may be from where my defensiveness comes from. Number 5, resources and strategies. This is a fact that I learned from one of my sources. Nonverbal communication makes up more than 70% of your communication. That's a wild statistic to me. Like I said earlier, I never would have realized or thought that body language and things that I'm doing without words leads my communication with others, and it controls how the conversation goes or how it's taken. My appearance, this is things I learned also from a website or an article. When it comes to my appearance, some things to help would be I could start with awareness, realize how I am looking. Am I smiling? Am I frowning? Do I look angry? Remember what your expressions are conveying. How does my face respond to different situations? Number 2, identify your tells. You could record yourself in conversations and review them and look at how you reacted to different things they said and how your face reacted throughout the whole conversation. Another way to do that is to practice and view your expressions in a mirror. And then lastly, ask for feedback from trusted people. The people that know you best are going to know how to help you and how to let you know if you're conveying something that you don't mean. Number 3, perfect your neutral face. I think this is where I run into trouble, is usually with just my neutral face that looks angry or sad. I can focus on looking relaxed and engaged. This helps me to be approachable. Frowning will come across negative or hostile. I can also add engaging body language with my facial expressions. Some hand movements or just body language that conveys positivity and lets them know that even if my face doesn't look like it, I am engaged in their conversation and I am wanting to have the conversation. And number 4, be aware of your eyes. Your eyes can convey a lot of emotions, so one way I could practice smiling with my eyes. Exaggerate some, but don't be insincere. Sometimes exaggerating makes it look normal to other people. It may feel like a lot to us, but it may be just a normal expression to others. I can also keep my eyes soft and warm, relax my face, and convey the emotion that I want to express. When it comes to listening, number 1, presence over proximity. I can put away all distractions and then give eye contact, have good posture, and convey your attention. These are all things that I can do to, like it said, show my attention and that I'm actually listening to what they have to say. Number 2, empathetic inquiry. I can ask questions before suggesting solutions. And although I may ask questions, I have to avoid interrogating them or coming across like I am interrogating them. Asking questions will help me really focus and gather what they are saying before I say anything back to them. Number 3, reflective confirmation. Reflect on what you've heard, clarify meaning. This also kind of goes with questions. After your questions, then you could say, so what I'm hearing you say is this, etc. And then number 4, vulnerability in connection. Be humble and admit when you don't understand or need clarification. We're not always going to hear everything they have to say, or we may see it in a different light. So it's okay to realize that we can ask, and it's okay to do that, and that will help our communication even more. Active listening skills go beyond hearing words. They involve giving your full presence, reading between the lines, and responding in a way that makes others feel understood. As I also learned in An Essential Guide to Interpersonal Communication, listening involves being intentional. It's not just hearing, but being attentive. They want to see that you're engaged and that you actually care about what they have to say. This builds trust, and it shows that you respect them by listening. Number 6, action plan. I plan to focus on truly listening to those around me. This not only will help me avoid arguments or confusion, but will strengthen my relationships with others, whether that be at home or at work. I believe that using the talking listening card, mentioned in one of our other books, is a very valuable tool to use. I also want to avoid being defensive in conversations. I should listen before assuming. Part of this also includes realizing that constructive criticism is not meant to hurt me or come across as an attack. It is for my betterment. A lot of times, it could be constructive criticism that I'm defending myself against because I don't want to admit it or don't feel that I do it. I have to remember that it is for my betterment and to help me communicate better to others. Being defensive means rushing to defend yourself when you're faced with an uncomfortable situation rather than listening and really talking about the problem. Defensiveness feels good in the moment because it takes the pressure off you, but later on you have to clean up the problems it causes. And this is totally true, and also why I want to work on defensiveness and realize these things before I defend myself in the future. In conclusion, I have learned a lot from this class, both about myself and others. The course books contain valuable and interesting information about communication. All the knowledge I have gained will help me better myself in my daily life. I hope to accomplish my goals and make more healthy, lasting relationships. And here are all my resources. Thank you for listening. Bye.